Hi, my name is Marie.
Nice to meet
Nice to meet you. Thank you for sitting down to talk with me today.
You're welcome.
Can I start with how's your day going? How's your week going?
My day's going well. I had to come in at 8 o'clock, which I don't love, and then my appointment canceled on me. So it's been very productive, but otherwise my week has been going well.
All right, wonderful. So you hold a PhD in economics and an MS in economics and applied econometrics from the University of Delaware. Can you tell me about your experience there?
Yeah, like as a student, you mean?
Yeah.
I loved it. It was very different than what I was used to as my undergrad. My undergrad was from East Stroudsburg University, which is probably similar size to this one. University of Delaware is like its own city, so it was just very overwhelming, but I had a great experience. My faculty advisors were great, super supportive. It was a little unnerving sometimes because they knew things that were like all the faculty talked amongst themselves and they said, "Oh, we heard that this happened." I'm like, how did you know that? And I don't remember that. I wasn't really as involved as an undergraduate, so like having that personal experience was like that interaction was really nice. Kept me accountable. They were super supportive. I was a single mom going through grad school and I had 3 children, and so I wasn't the typical student, and they were pretty supportive of that, and they worked with me. I actually worked while I was working on those, and that's not usually allowed, so they let me do that. And I have nothing but good things to say. Anytime I hear someone who wants to go to University of Delaware, I highly encourage it because they really like it there.
Oh wow, that's really interesting. Would you say that there was like a specific professor or instructor that really helped you along that journey?
Yes, Dr. Saul Hoffman was my master's research paper advisor. I had taken him for a course called Labor Economics, and I could have not gotten the master's degree along the way with a PhD, but to get the master's degree, because I also have an MBA, so I already had a master's degree, but I thought since my background wasn't in economics, getting a master's would be good, and to do that you had to just write a thesis. So he was my advisor. He was a former English major, and he made me a good writer. I was, I guess, a terrible writer at the time, and he used to send back revision after revision after revision after revision, and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to be able to get past this. But through that process, I learned to become a good writer. I think I carry those lessons with me when I'm an advisor in the senior seminar here, and I'm kind of famous with all of my red marks and things, but it makes them a better writer too. So it's sometimes humbling thinking you've done a good job, or like, when am I going to be finished, or when is it good enough? But he was great. He also took like 5 of us out for coffee one time, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Like, and he just wanted to get to know us, and he's also followed up like since I've graduated, and he helped me to know what like actually being a mentor was like. So he was a mentor for me. And
Wow.
Yeah, he made it a little bit easier because it wasn't an easy process for sure.
Yeah, that's so wonderful. It sounds like he really was able to set your standards for a lot of things, which is really interesting. So I'm going to shift more into the Alpha Kappa Phi area.
Okay.
So as the advisor of Alpha Kappa Phi, what is your role and what are some of the important decisions that you make as the leader of the organization?
So I wouldn't say I'm a leader. I would say I'm the advisor of it. Okay. So I still give them a lot of autonomy, but I like to be involved as much as they allow me to, I would say. So there's some semesters that I'm more involved than others, and it kind of is based on somewhat of the U board, but mostly the president is who I end up working mostly with. There's some other positions that I tend to interact with more so, but it's usually the president is the one that reaches out if there's any issues. So if there's any issues with the organization, then I'm hearing about it, whether good, bad, I suppose. I have to review their new member education program every semester, and there's advisor and president get-togethers. There's the advisor meetings with the university. We have those every semester. just to keep us involved. But what's different, I would say, for my role versus some of the other advisors of Greek organizations is that Alpha Kappa Phi is a regional sorority, and I use that term loosely because they operate basically as a local. So I'm all they have. So they don't really have any oversight other than me. And that forces me to be very aware of policies, regulations, things. For example, when I first came on as their advisor, they were newly recognized on campus again. And there was no bank account. They put bank accounts in individual sisters' names, which I saw as major red flag for some problems. And so we worked on that. They weren't allowed to fundraise because they didn't have a tax ID. They didn't know how to get a tax ID. So I had to figure out how to do that for them and help them with that. We worked on revising their constitution. They didn't have a J board which was hurting them every year when they tried to go for the Standard of Excellence Awards, because that was one of the criteria, is having a J board. So we put one of those in place. Each year I'd like to have some kind of, a goal for the year.
Yeah.
I've been working on officer transition for a couple of years. That seems to be a little harder than other goals. But 1 year it was revising the Constitution. We've done diversity statements. We've done risk management updates, things like those. So I'm usually heavily involved in writing or revising those with them because, again, there's nothing, no template for them to follow. So I work on trying to find ways that we can do that. So I would say I'm more involved than most advisors, but I really love it because I feel like whenever I'm asked when I go up for a promotion or tenure review, I'm asked what is my most important service contribution, and I always say it's being the advisor, because 40 to 60 girls kind of depend on me at times, and I really appreciate that. And I think I usually at least meet all of them, have a little bit of a conversation is probably the minimum, but others that we text back and forth all the time, or they come back to visit me. And so it depends. There's varying degrees of the relationships that I have with the girls, but I love them all, and I think they're a great group, and I will continue to be their advisor as long as they want me to be.
That's really great. Yes, as a member, we are very thankful for you. And kind of a follow-up question to that. How do you encourage and promote creative thinking and brainstorming ideas for Alpha Kappa Phi?
I think I give a general, okay, let's focus on a topic, or let's think about a topic, or how can we include something, but then I let them actually do
more of a mediator kind of
so more of as an example, there were, and I'm not sure if you guys are still doing them, but there were meetings where you had to do there was maybe a group of sisters were presenting on different topics. I don't know if you guys are still doing that. Yeah. And so it was more of okay, here's some things that we should be covering. How do you guys want to do it? And was you guys developed how that was going to be done, is breaking it up, having a group present, because I was open to bringing on someone into campus to talk, someone a faculty, I didn't matter what. I just thought that we should really be talking about certain things, positive relationship behaviors, some of those no drunk driving, all those things that we should know. We need reminders of mental health check-in, all of that stuff. So give the idea, you guys make that happen. We need to have a J board. How they wanted to do it was more on them. So I facilitated, I create opportunity. I'm there to support. Sometimes if they're really stuck, I'll give ideas. But it's more of that. I try to just give the ideas and let you guys figure out how to do it. And it seems to work pretty well.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So what would you say are the core values or mission of the sorority?
Oh boy, I should know this one, shouldn't I? I should know this one. I feel like I'm going to make it up though. But the core values are friendship, service, because we do a lot of community service, there's probably an education component to it, and as soon as this interview's over, I'm gonna be like, but I think is even if I didn't know anything about it, which I do and can't right now, is that seems to be what it is like fostering positive relationships with, like, I always get to know the new members I meet with them as a group, and a lot of them will say, well, I transferred here and I didn't know a lot of people, or I wasn't really meeting any friends that I wanted, and then this is my group of people, this is my like family away from home. And so I think, like, I don't know how to articulate but I think that's a key.
Such a huge component is the reason why I joined is friendship, like trust within a group of girls, and like no matter what, we can have our fights and tussle with each other, but we're always going to have each other's backs at the end of the day. I feel like that's such a unique place and such a unique like community and group of people. And I never, when I like came here, I never really knew what a sorority was. Like I was always so like the Southern school's big, beautiful houses with a million trillion girls in it, but it's so different at SUNY, and it's so much more like humble, and I think that's why I love AK Phi so much. So just the last few questions. What is your favorite spot to eat at in Oneonta?
My favorite spot, probably Toscana's.
Oh, I love the angel hair pesto. That's my favorite.
So I like the penne alla vodka. So I love their vodka sauce, and my fiance now, he says they have the best chicken parm that hands down he's ever had. So and he tends to order chicken parm everywhere we go. So
I like it's like the only like upscale place in Oneonta. I really like it. And last question. As a senior, what advice would you give to me or other seniors about entering the workforce?
Oh, well, there's limited time, but if I could back you up a little bit, get involved as many things as you can. Make sure you make connections with faculty so you have somebody in your back pocket to write you a letter of recommendation if needed. Be open to maybe going back to grad school one day. Maybe not, but also it can be really easy to fall into the trap when you're on the job market of you need to find a job and you'll take whatever you can get. And I think that can be a mistake. So it's just as important for employers to like you as you to like the job. So try to, if possible, find something that actually you feel comfortable with and it's a right fit for you, because if not, you're going to end up doing the whole process over again. And it's okay to turn down something, financial situation aside, to turn down something just because they're offering it, because you know it's not what you want to do. And that's a hard thing for first-time full-time employees to do, is like, but they offered me the job, so I feel like I should take it. And you don't necessarily have to do that. So kind of,
I feel like especially like in the world of Handshake and Indeed too, that's very difficult to manage. So
it can be very overwhelming. And have as many people as you can look at your resume. So because a resume is a working document, I feel like it's one of the hardest things to write in the world, because to get it just right, some things you want to make sure that you want to make it like results oriented, not just a like, here's my job description, here's what I was responsible for. That doesn't really say anything. What did you actually accomplish? So if you can turn your resume around to that, is, I forget what positions you've held. Have you held any?
In the sorority?
Yeah.
I'm mental health chair currently.
Okay. So if you organize, just for the sake of argument, a walk, I know we sometimes do that, the suicide walk. Right? So let's say you were responsible for that. So instead of just organized, set up, whatever else you did in there, and suicide walk where 70% of the organization participated, blah, 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 blah. Like, give something that shows what you've actually done, not that you were responsible for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I think that's what will make you stand out a little bit more on in this whole stack of, or, in theory stack of, or not to get weeded out of the the auto generated things where they, it doesn't check this box.
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe you don't check every box, but
I
if you
think
can
I
make it
struggle
stand
with like keeping it at one page because that's what they say. Just
Yep.
they don't want to see anything else.
No, because you don't have enough experience yet for one page. So that's what I said is like have as many people as you can take a look at it, and because it's a whittling down of just the key components. Another thing is like if you were a server, we all know what a server does. So that's where you can get like grab some space.
Yeah.
So the server part is okay, you held a job while you were in school, or you did that, or you had something, but that's not necessarily wow. I gave excellent customer service. Everyone does. So like that's where you can save your space and then use your space maybe a little more effectively and talk about something impressive that you did in one of your classes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's better in the job market than actually describing the customer service you did in the serving position.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Giving me a lot to think about. But thank you again so
You're
much for
welcome.
interviewing
You're
me.
welcome.
Lovely to see you.
You as well.